22 minutes past 2, and have you heard? Heavy metal legends Black Sabbath are staging a huge concert to say farewell to Ozzy in what will be his final performance. The band will take to the stage to headline Back to the Beginning on the 5th of July at Villa Park. Now, the rest of the lineup is a who's who of the heavy metal world. It'll feature performances from legendary bands like Metallica, Anthrax and Slayer, as well as contemporary bands like Gojira, who picked up a Grammy for their performance at the Olympics opening ceremony in Paris last year. Among other guest stars listed, Stoke-on-Trent Slash is set to perform, and his Guns N' Roses bandmate Duff McKagan is also on the list. To get some reaction to this from Kidderminster-based musician Andy Edwards, who also runs a music news at YouTube channel. How are you, Andy?
I'm very good. Are you okay, Tony?
I'm very well, thank you. I have lots of excited people around me at the moment. Very excited. What did you think when you heard the news?
Oh, I think it's incredible. It's incredible for music. It's incredible for heavy metal. It's incredible for the Midlands and Birmingham. And it's incredible for Ozzy to be able to actually say goodbye. I mean, this is the band that invented heavy metal here in the Midlands. They started it and they're going to finish it. And all these incredible metal bands, some of the biggest in the world, Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Pantera, they're all coming to pay homage to Ozzy, this incredible band. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's great. This is a band from right here. They're at the heart of a global movement, aren't they?
Well, without a doubt. And there's something about Black Sabbath that I think represent the Midlands so well, you know, and there's a certain, they're not artsy-fartsy, but they're very creative. And I think that's what we are up here in the Midlands, aren't we?
Yeah. And do you think Sabbath have still got it in them to do this?
Yeah, well, no, but the whole point is that, I mean, the last time we saw Ozzy performing with Tony Iommi was at the Birmingham Commonwealth Games, wasn't it? And he didn't really move around at all. So I imagine he was strapped to some sort of metal framework to keep it up. And I don't think he was actually singing, you know. But when I saw it and I saw him back with Tony, I still had a tear in my eye because this is the music that's been with us since day one, as for me.
Yeah, I think there had been rumours swirling around and I thought, nah, it's not going to happen. And yet to see him there, it was like, oh my goodness, there he is.
Yeah, and I think Ozzy, I mean, on the other side, I don't think he'd say to do it if he doesn't think he could do it. But I mean, the thing is, the big news was Oasis. I think the last time we spoke, it was about Oasis reforming, and that was a really big deal. But it's just been trumped, as far as I'm concerned, with the Dark Lords of heavy metal.
I think so. They've said farewell before, though, haven't they? And you went along to those shows. What were they like?
They were incredible, and I think in 2000 they said they were going to be doing their last show, and they had System of a Down and a few of the metal bands supporting them. And it was very memorable because back then I was playing with Robert Plant, and I actually went along with Robert. So I was sat next to Robert Plant, you know, watching Black Sabbath, and it was the coming together of these bands that really are why I'm here. These are my bands, without a doubt. I really do think that Black Sabbath is the greatest band of the 20th century, as far as I'm concerned.
So you and Robert going to be first in the queue to get a ticket?
I don't know whether Robert is. I imagine he'll be there. Well, he has to get a ticket, though. I'm sure he'll get one out of somebody.
Yeah. He doesn't need to be in that going to be a very long online queue, I'm thinking, to get this.
I hope they get him up to do something.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they should get him up, and some of the Birmingham people need to be up there. You know, some of the Slade guys and some of the, you know, the Judas Priest guys. They all need to be there because these guys were all playing together in pubs and clubs in the 1960s. So it's an incredible thing. I think that's what I find so exciting about it, the fact they're bringing it back to Birmingham.
Yeah, and back in Aston, where it all began.
Yeah, brilliant. That's so exciting. It's better than the Oasis thing, and I was quite excited about that, but this is something else. And you just played some Black Sabbath on BBC in the afternoon, I heard it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Had to be done.
Oh, it's wonderful.
You can't talk about this band and not play it. But this is the original lineup as well. Drummer Bill Ward wasn't part of the final show before, was he?
No, I think he'd been a bit ill, and there was a bit of bad feeling after that because Bill said he could have done it, and, you know, Ozzy was saying, well, you weren't very well. And Bill Ward's a real genius. What he did on drums is so important. So it's lovely that he's in. It's not just Ozzy coming in, it's Bill. It's the four of them coming back together. They can stand on stage, as far as I'm concerned, just take the applause, and it'll be worth the ticket money. And the other thing we've got to remember, they're not doing Oasis. They're giving this money away to charity. Mm-hmm. They're doing it for a good cause. They're not coming back to make this, pay off their grandchildren, college. They're coming back to, put something back in. It's a wonderful, positive, wonderful thing, which is what they are. They even though we're a heavy metal band, there was always a sense of fun there. Ozzy always had a smile on his face. He's always having the best time. And that's the difference between them and all the other metal bands. They don't need to be heavy because they just are. Yeah.
And what about the other names on the lineup, though? What do you make of them?
Well, it's incredible. I mean, some of those are absolutely legendary. I did the top 20 heavy metal bands of all time a few weeks ago. Obviously, Black Sabbath are at number one, but many of those bands, Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Slayer, Pantera, these are really, really top-end bands. This is like, I can't ever think of a gig like this with this sort of lineup. And the reason is because this is how important Black Sabbath are to the music world. They're such a touchstone of a band. They really are. And everybody's going to come back to pay homage.
Absolutely. Andy, great to speak to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Start.
Are you going to cut off the start? Oh, of course you're not going to cut off the start.
Of course I'm not going to cut off the start.
You never cut
It'll
any.
start like this.
Yeah.
And have a slow walk of me. I'm worried I haven't started it up properly. I'm going to go back now. Can you just talk to them?
Hello.
Hello.
Was that it? Is that the...
What we're doing at the moment, should we explain what we're doing while you're having a walk around? Or that's your job, Andy, it's your channel.
With a panel
Yeah,
for your...
It's harder than it looks, isn't it?
This is
Once the camera's on, it's harder than it looks.
this is like it's like your audition into a like a proper radio show or panel show.
Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, music fans, we are going to be doing some punditry. I've got two pundits with me. My pundit to my left is Mr. Rob GROUCUTT, who you've seen many times before.
Hello.
His main claim to fame is his dad was in ELO. He never likes this mentioned.
No, because
but,
two minutes into the video
so
we've got.
if you want to know his credentials for talking to you about music, it's the fact that his dad was a bass player in a famous band. And to my right, I have Mr. Andy Robinson, not the actor from Dirty Harry, I'm afraid. If you've looked at the title and seen his name and thought, oh my God, they've got that bloke that was in Hellraiser and Dirty Harry. He's bloody brilliant in it. Was he old Andy Robinson? I bet no one's ever said this to you, have they?
He's actually my dad, like...
Oh, is he?
Yeah, like the ELO thing.
Bloody hell. So there's a lot of nepotism going on today. So
Nepo babies!
you probably wonder what this is about. I thought I should do a music news, regular music news thing, podcasty thing, and get a couple of people on and look at what's going on in the real world. Because I know a lot of you are pretty old and you don't know what the hell's going on. So you don't have to worry, because once a month we will talk about contemporary music news. We will pass our opinion on it, have a chat about it and get involved. And you can then go out and if you talk to younger people, you can make out like that you know what you're talking about. Say, oh, I did that Charlie X, the X has done something recently in the news.
Yeah.
And the Edwards was talking about it with some other old blokes.
Charlie XCX, nice.
Yeah.
Right on it. What are we defining as news, do you think?
Stuff that's happened in the music world.
What has happened, what is happening, what's going
To happen. That's basically it. Yeah,
Right.
we're going to pass our opinion about it in a sort of semi-knowledgeable but grumpy old man way, which is what you want, isn't it? You know, we're ready to go. We've got our coffee. Could you pass me the custard creams over?
Of course.
Right. You may have seen this a few videos ago. It was a lot more fuller, but I've been thinking I'm not going to go to Greg's. I can get by with a few custard creams. Would you like a custard cream?
Have one. You've been thunking.
Thinking and thunking.
Thinking and thunking.
Right, so we're not doing what YouTubers should do. We should be kicking straight in with some news. We're going to kick in with some big news because actually, bizarrely, I got wind this morning of some big news that was actually interesting to the types likes of us, and we've been waiting around to see if what I got wind of is true. And literally about 5 minutes ago, it is true. It has been announced. So, Andy, what have you got? You've got the story up here.
I just pulled it up, announced 39 minutes ago, Black Sabbath are reuniting at a Villa Park for a gig, and Ozzy Osbourne is calling it the greatest heavy metal show ever. And supporting them will be people such as Metallica, Slayer, Pantera, Alice in Chains, Lamb of God, Anthrax, Mastodon. Don't know them.
It is a huge thing. So this is going to be the last ever Black Sabbath show. They're going to be coming back, the greatest heavy metal band of all time, alongside what I would say definitely Metallica, Slayer, Pantera, Alice in Chains are all legendary, and Mastodon and all the other ones, they're incredible. And didn't you say beforehand that they're actually going to put a super group together?
Rob was saying that.
Were you
I
saying
did,
that,
yes.
Rob? Did you find this out?
It did. It says that there is also going to be a supergroup which will consist of Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins, obviously, / Fred Durst, Wolfgang Van Halen, and Tom Morello, who Tom Morello is also the musical director of the show.
Fred Durst has spoiled the whole thing for me now. It was all good up until there. As I covered this on another channel. Fred Durst is actually really annoying, right? And we all know he's annoying. But as time has gone on, he's turned into a garden gnome. And I'll put the photograph up now so you can have a laugh. I've used this joke twice, you know. I don't mind him doing it, right? I don't mind him doing it, but I don't want him to appear like a garden gnome.
Oh, we are see what you mean.
Yeah, it's worse than that, Rob. Look, you're looking at it now. So, what do you think about these old bands? I mean, it's very exciting, but of course, older Ozzy. I mean, he's not well, is he? I mean, how are they going to do it?
Was he ever well?
Well, he could walk and things like that. I mean,
enough.
the last time they got together was for the Birmingham Commonwealth Games.
I remember.
And they had Tony Iommi and Ozzy up on stage, and I felt that. That obviously Ozzy wasn't singing, but also he seemed to be in some sort of wire frame in a sort of Hannibal Lecter style, that they'd wheeled him out so he could stand up. And the poor old bloke's got Parkinson's disease, all this type of stuff. How are they going to do? Do you think that's why they got all the other people on? Do you think it's going to be like they do 3 songs?
I would imagine so. There's a touch of that, but you know, Black Sabbath fans. But get this on my computer. It's saying all profits from a special gig will go to good causes in Birmingham and beyond. So maybe they'll all. If Ozzy's got Parkinson's, maybe he'll chuck it in a Parkinson's charity and reap the benefits that way. You know what I mean?
There is also a quote from Ozzy, and he said that. He said, "I'm not going to go up there and do a half-hearted Ozzy looking for sympathy. What's the expletive point in that? I'm not going to go up there in an expletive wheelchair."
Can you do that again in a Birmingham accent?
I'm not going to go up there like and do a half-hearted Ozzy looking for sympathy. What's the expletive point in that? I'm not going to go up there in a wheelchair. Shut it like that. That's basically
That's pretty good, wasn't it?
Is that all right?
Yeah. It was a bit more Jeff Lynne though than
Was it?
Black
Yeah,
Sabbath.
well, that's
They're more like that, aren't they?
bit more.
They're a bit more like that,
A bit
I think.
more
A bit more nasal and they're like a bit also blocked. These blocked. That's how I would do a Black Sabbath voice.
I do
Can you do a Black? You're from Birmingham, aren't you?
I am from the Black Country.
You're from the Black Country.
So yeah, I'm from the Black Country. See, I'm from Wolverhampton.
Do you know my favourite thing ever? Once I saw a gig in Tipton, some band playing Tipton, and this band said, "Are you ready to rock?" As I did, and the whole audience went, "Oh." I liked it.
But was that them saying yes, or was they just starting to spell the word rock? And they got stuck.
So, well, it's an amazing thing. If it happens, it'll be. I think it's the end of heavy metal, isn't it? It's the big full stop at the end.
I mean,
of it.
is it definitely the last one they're doing, or is it? I mean, does
Cool.
it say that? Because
Well,
they had their last gig.
I went to see their last gig
See,
dozen years ago. So
Dozen.
Yeah.
Was this the one at the NEC in 2000?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
I was there. Right, I was there in 2000 at the NEC. System of a Down was supporting. Do you remember? Was that the one you saw with
No,
Ozzy?
I think I saw it at the NIA, so it was a bit after. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But anyone who announces the last gig, you always have to be a little bit suspicious, don't you?
Yeah, well, this was 25 years ago. And I don't want to name drop because I would never name drop, as you know, anybody who watches this channel know, I never name drop. But I was driving back to a gig with Robert Plant, who's the lead singer of Led Zeppelin. And Led Zeppelin are like, they're like Black Sabbath, but like they're not another band like Black Sabbath, you know, of equal stature.
Yeah.
That I happen to know because I know all the people. And Robert gets a phone call from Tony Iommi, and Tony goes, "You're right, Robert. Do you want to come up and see our last ever show at the NEC today?" And Robert went, "Oh, I might do that. I know, yeah." I'll do. And then he put the phone down. Robert didn't really want to go, you see, because I think he was going home to watch Last of Some of the Wine or something like that. You know, he got to a nice night in. And we all know what that feels like, coming back from a gig. But we nagged him, and so he decided to take us. And I got taken to see Black Sabbath with Robert Plant. And because Robert Plant, he had his own doorway at the NEC round the back. And we had to go up and knock it. Yeah. And then when it opened, the door opened, and in front of us was a devil dog with glowing eyes. We were beckoned in past various large crosses. I've got some in the background here.
Is that where they're from?
Yeah, I'll show you what I brought.
You were beckoned in by the dog?
Pretty much.
Come here.
So, can you hold that for us?
Sure.
You hold that there, because I did bring these in the hope. See, there's a pun there for you, just in time.
Yeah.
Die. Anyway, and there was lots of props. They were better than this, but this type of props were everywhere. And then we went round, and I actually met the band. I met all of them. Sharon Osbourne as well.
How was that?
Tony Iommi was lovely.
Yeah.
They had their secret keyboardist, Jeff Nichols, that used to play offstage, who's the late, great Jeff Nichols. And he would often, I don't want to say this in public, but it was often him singing and not Ozzy. I've said it now, you know, so he would often fill in when Ozzy wasn't quite as strong.
I don't want to say this in public.
But yeah,
but
I have done now.
Yeah,
The bloke's dead, and what they're going to do. Even though he was off stage, you couldn't see him, he'd got a blonde wig on, and his beard, that was obviously grey,
Right.
he not dyed it blonde, it was like he'd painted it blonde.
Yeah.
Like with the paint that you would paint the double yellow lines on the road in. It was like really bright, and I thought, well, nobody could see you, mate. But Jeff was nice, Tony was nice, Geese I didn't really talk to. Ozzy was a bit grumpy, to be honest.
Fair enough.
But you know, it did a lot of pressure on him, yeah. Because I really believe, I'm going to say it now, I think Black Sabbath are the greatest band of the 20th century. I really do. I'm not joking.
I don't think many people are going to argue with that, are they?
No. I just love them, and I love them now. That was a bit of good music news. I suppose we could go move on to something else now. We've done that one.
Yeah, man, seems done, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Everything else is going to sort of pale into.
Yeah, so
the significance after that.
What have you got there, Andy? See, I've got the only reason I've got these on because I couldn't be asked really going and do the research to find any music news.
I know, I liked it. You said, let's do some music news. I said, yeah, okay then. Sent you loads of music news. And then you said, I'm just going to talk about Jamiroquai. So I thought, I'll just leave that. What's your Jamiroquai music news, Andy?
Well, I think...
They're reforming.
I think it's a good thing when you've got Jamiroquai in the contemporary music news, don't you?
No way, is it? Got to be better. What was the news about them? Though that they're reforming and doing some gigs. Essentially, I had a little Google. What Jamiroquai up to?
No, I just said what I think. I think it would be a good thing if there was some music news about Jamiroquai in today's music news,
right.
But there isn't.
Well, they're reforming and doing loads of gigs next year, as are loads of other people.
Yeah.
Are they actually doing this?
Yeah, that's why I asked.
I mean, this isn't exactly recent news. It was like November last year that they announced.
Jamiroquai are getting back together, are they?
Yeah, doing some gigs, maybe at the same time as Black Sabbath. You know, so you're going to be torn, or not, because you probably won't go to either of them.
I bet JK will have a few ligaments that are torn because I don't think he can jump around anymore like he used to.
Oh, God bless him.
Because I saw him recently. And he looked a bit baggy-eyed to me, old JK. Well, he's an old bloke, isn't he?
No, not compared to some of the people going out on tour. He's not.
No, he's spring chicken. Do you think he'll be springing like a spring chicken, though? Because that's the thing. And the thing is that as time has gone on, his headdress has got more extravagant. So he's older with a heavier hat.
Yeah.
And so jumping around, I want to see him jumping around. That's the main thing that differentiates them from a proper funk band like Earth, Wind and Fire. And they did loads of jumping around, to be fair. I mean, their bass player used to levitate, didn't he?
Earth, Wind and Fire were on at Fire Aid this weekend. Did either of you watch Fire Aid?
I didn't see any of it, no.
Oh man, you missed a treat. It's great, it was. They had Nirvana reformed.
Yes,
I did
hear about
different
this,
singers. They had St Vincent, she was great. Who else was on?
So Grohl and Novus Lekliak.
Yeah. And Pat Smears was playing.
Oh, that one as well.
They did 3 or 4 Nirvana songs, different guest vocalists for each song. Dave Grohl's daughter was the last one to sing No Apologies. As I think I mentioned to you, Dave Grohl knackered, like he'd had quite a few conversations lately. Let's
He's
say.
a bit baggy-eyed as well.
For sure.
I mean, I'm a bit baggy-eyed. I'm not criticising. It's just that's what happens. That's what happens to us rock people as time goes on.
It was a great gig. There was something so touching about it because I had all the clips, of course, of the fire, and then great performances. They had the choice of a lot of artists didn't have enough songs, but there's loads of songs about LA they could pull out, didn't they? So you had some fella called Jelly Roll I've never seen singing Hollywood Nights. That was a treat. And
Hollywood Nights.
You know that song, Bob Seger.
Yeah, but is that a bit bad taste?
Well, it's weird. But the worst taste was my favourite. Was Stevie Nicks was on. Then she started going, the thing is, I had a house on the hill, and as I was evacuated, I looked back and it didn't burn down. So my house, which was made of wood, saved that street. And I was thinking, not now, Steve. When everyone's laughs at her, there was a weird narcissism at her house that kind of said, and she went, God loves me. And I'm thinking, so God doesn't love everybody else who occasionally burned down? It's nuts.
Well, didn't Stevie Nicks used to get evacuated by one of the roadies? A roadie in a straw.
What's that story?
The pennies dropped now. Pennies dropped now. I ain't gonna say it on my channel. I ain't getting banned by telling, because for A, it's probably not true, so it's a naughty thing to say.
Yeah.
B, it's rude, and C, it involves drugs. It's got 3 bad things in there.
Right.
So I'm gonna leave it to your imagination.
She said evacuation was her least favourite word. Before she did, so there's some great stuff on it though.
I mean, she's making that up, isn't she?
Yeah.
I mean, whose least favourite word is evacuation?
She gave me the
it's not you. I mean, there's got to be loads of words. I mean, I don't like moist.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like.
I don't like moist at all.
No.
But listen, get this as well. This was interesting. So everyone had to choose some songs, didn't they? Because it's a tragedy. They have to have appropriate songs. Sting was on. He duetted with Stevie Wonder at the end. Your mate Dominic Miller was there, being great.
Was he?
Yeah, of course, playing the Sting's band. And then made me think of Sting. He chose, everyone's, like I say, Jelly Roll is put, I'll do this Bob Seger song. But Sting, he started with Message in a Bottle.
Yeah.
Because sending out an SOS. Driven to Tears next, which is of course that. And he ended with Fragile. So Sting, even when he's only got 3 songs, he's got the right songs to do it.
Yeah.
Like that.
Did they have that band that did Disco Inferno?
This is what I said. Was there anybody that did any appropriate ones like Light My Fire? Or
Light My Fire,
Relight My
Burn
Fire.
by Deep Purple, straight down the line.
Yeah.
Didn't Public Enemy do one called Burn Hollywood?
Hollywood's Burning, didn't they?
Yeah, they did that one.
Earth, Wind and Fire.
Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash.
Yeah, it's bad, isn't it?
Ring of Fire would be good.
Burning Down the House.
Yeah.
By Talking Heads, that would be
All
another
that
good
stuff.
one.
Yeah. I mean, I spent a lot of time in LA. I know a lot of people are very devastated, but I like us taking the mickey. Let's do it. They deserve it.
Well, the thing is that I feel a bit bad, but I don't feel that bad. Because I was watching, I think it was Mel Gibson, he was being interviewed, and then he goes, how's you getting on? And he said, well, I think my house is burning down right now. And then had a little laugh to himself, because of course for him, just goes and gets another one, doesn't he? He's got 4 other ones. It's like me losing a shoe.
Yeah.
You know, really.
I mean, it is that thing, isn't it? People say, as long as people are safe, then it's all just stuff. I know it's like...
But it's
I know
expensive stuff
it's expensive
as well.
stuff, but it is just stuff. If you're safe, that's the main thing, isn't it? You know,
It was good. It was in Los Angeles because I had loads of people who are affiliated with Los Angeles. Rod Stewart was there because he'd lived there a bit, and all the bands from Los Angeles. So that was good because it had loads of love, and it made me think if Nottingham ever has any house fires, I'll be able to get Jake Bugg and Paper Lace, and that's about it. No one else is going to turn up.
Yeah. It's still good enough reason for setting Nottingham on fire, isn't it? any other cities have got, I mean, Coventry's the obviously one, and they got some decent bands as well.
They tried to do that,
They
didn't
do all right.
They got the specials. They got the specials, and that's, you know. And the thing is, they've had it happen before, haven't they? Because they got bombed by Hitler.
I mean,
Right.
Birmingham, you'd have Black Sabbath coming out again.
Oh, they can't now. They will, wouldn't they?
They would.
They would, wouldn't they?
Have you ever done any benefit gigs like that? Not quite like Fire Aid, maybe, but have you taken part in
Rubbish
benefit
ones.
gigs? What's that like? When comedians do benefit gigs, no one wants to go on last, and everyone's kind of trying to beat everybody a little bit. if you know what I mean.
Do you have to do it for free?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the bit I don't like, you see.
Yeah.
I mean, I should be a charity myself, I think.
Well, you kind of are in your own way.
Yeah. I mean, I've got my PayPal tip jar. I've got now this new button.
Yeah, but people just keep putting like custard cream.
Look how low that is, everybody. And the thing is,
Put some more custard cream.
I don't do this, so we're 10 minutes in or whatever. Can you subscribe now?
I mean, when they do comic relief...
Lee!
You don't
Let
have to
them,
wait.
they're having to think they're old. They're having to
Alright,
find the bloody button. And they go, and you should subscribe.
Tell them where the button is.
It's down there, somewhere down there.
Be a
Bloody hell,
be a
use your
sensitive
eyes.
lover. Tell them where the button is.
Don't be rude on my channel like that. My mum watches this.
Rude about
I
loving-
don't want my
loving
mum
sensitive-
seeing me talking about sensitive loving and buttons.
I hope not, because I called her a slag last time I did your show, so I hope she didn't watch it. This is made me think though, because you know all the clips were so good on this Fire Aid thing, because they were just happened they were there, and you know when you watch some stuff and the clips and the things that tug your heartstrings, it gets annoying, doesn't it? They even did a good job of that on Fire Aid. I mean, like when you watch the comic relief one, some of the appeals are funnier than the sketches, aren't they? So,
Yeah, they don't really land, do they?
yeah.
Can I move on? I'm going to throw some
Do it.
news in, even though I haven't got a laptop. I'm going to bring in the Grammys, because the Grammys happened recently, and me and Rob were talking about them anyway. So what a palaver, and what a waste of time.
I had a little look at the Grammys. I'm not bothered by the Grammys, and then I was thinking, who are the Grammys? Who votes it? Why is it so important? A bit like the Mercury Music Prize.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? It's just a few people in a room who congratulate themselves. I don't understand the import the Grammys has.
I think, well, what do you think, Rob?
In fact, it's right. It's not something I've actually considered. Is it like a panel of? Is it like a company called Grammys Inc?
I googled it.
Well, yeah.
I
And so
don't
it's
know. Who are
just-
the Grammys?
So it's just
It's a
people
bunch
just
of people,
voting.
yeah. You
just-
get a member
yeah.
of the board.
Right.
There's all different people on
which
it.
is like
Dave
any
Roll's
of the
probably on it,
American
isn't he?
award ceremonies, isn't it? Like the Oscars, it's all the same.
Yeah.
And it becomes the same. It just becomes the same people celebrating the same people, and they're all just mates.
Fergal Sharkey.
Do you know one best rock album for the Grammys?
Rolling Bloody
Yeah,
Stones.
do you know one best single? Or no, or best.
Kendrick Lamar.
He won best single.
Yeah.
Best use. I can't. Beatles won another one anyway.
Beatles won
For-
best performance.
Best
Oh, it's
performance.
disgusting. John Lennon records a subpar song on cassette, slings it in the corner because it's no good. He gets assassinated, and then years and years later, they find it. It's cruddy cassette. They stick it in AI, which now, but last year, whenever it was when they did it, it was quite. That was quite. Wow, this
And they
AI.
did the
But now we
Freeze
could
the
all do
Birds,
this.
yeah.
Now we could all go and stick it into AI, and say make it sound like the Beatles, and this song comes out, and that has been. That was awarded best performance,
Yeah, it's weird,
and I
isn't
feel
it?
like they're trying to take the piss out of us all. I think we're all
It's
sat
like they're
there
testing us.
Yeah,
To
we're
see-
having
yeah,
to
yeah.
take it, and they're going, "Oh, look at this now. What's the best rock album? The Rolling Stones. That's the best rock album. You know them? They're all 80 years old. There's all this rock coming out, but now it's them."
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it, for sure?
And then it's like Beyonce does an album with a bloody loop of a country picking loop, sings a load of cliches about
We've said
country
this before,
music,
yeah.
yeah.
Texas,
But
Bow
go
Down.
and listen to the other tracks on there. They're not country. They're like these. I'd love to keep it to the vertical. You know, like modern music.
Country-esque? I mean,
No, not at all.
She had a load of people piling on her, didn't she, for, you know...
No,
not
that's
being
one of the Diddy
country.
parties you're thinking of.
It was pretty good. She had this speech where she's going like, I didn't get this. Some people said, "How dare you say this?" Because she was saying, "Don't stay in your lane. Don't be told what to do and persist." And then weirdly, loads of people had to go. Beyonce saying this. I thought that's pretty good advice, actually, isn't it? You know, whether you like that album or not.
Well, the thing is that I went and Googled all the albums that have ever been voted the best album at the Grammys,
Yeah.
and they've so got it wrong every single year, and they can't help but going. It's like they're not bad albums, but it's like they're going for like Billy Joel albums, Christopher Cross, Toto. They're the ones. They're in the past. They're the ones that won the best albums.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like in 1966, 67, it's something like Frank Sinatra or Judy Garland's winning best album, and you've got all that stuff happening. And not one band. There's no Zeppelin album. There's no Black Sabbath album. There's no Velvet Underground. There's nothing that you would say is a great album.
Right, yeah.
So they totally missed the mark. It's completely. I mean, what I believe it is, to be serious, is I think they decide who's the most bankable stars at that point in time. Yeah. They give them the award, and then they turn up for free. And it's a way of getting a whole bunch of famous people in the same room. And in the old days, we used to care. And so you'd sit there and go, right, like the Oscars, let's sit down. Oh my God, look, it's Christopher Walken, he's there. He's sat next to Robert De Niro. And that was why you were watching them, just to see all the people. And that's why they have this carpet thing where they all walk up and down. And now, nobody gives a toss. And the only bit of interest was Kanye West with his wife.
Right.
What's her name?
I don't know. For you, that was the only thing that interested you.
She turned up, we covered it out of focus. I watched it on the internet. I don't know how they did it. She turned up wearing like this
pixelated,
this pixelated out of focus stuff all over her.
One of the best commentaries I saw on that was that somebody, I think it was on Reddit or something, and somebody had put, because she's in, and it is completely see through, but she's still like adjusting the hem, like And somebody was just like,
did you see
make
that
sure you
the
maintain your... Yeah, of course.
So I never did. Mum, I never did watch it without the fuzz. I just kept with the fuzz, you know.
I mean, I didn't go searching for it. It appeared on my Reddit feed.
On Reddit? Oh, that's nonsense. It's like X, isn't it? Twitter. So I was just on YouTube and it came up and I thought, oh my God, what's he doing now, Kanye West? And I thought, no, I'm not going to go searching for... to see the goods.
That's where I got my news.
Or the bads, depending on who...
This is the thing though about the Grammys and that, isn't it? I reject them a little bit. Don't care about them. Think who votes that in, who decides the best, and yet here we are talking about them. So they're certainly sticking the.
And actually, I was just looking at some of the list of stuff, and you got like that Benson Boone was nominated.
Was he the book?
You know that, please. You know that. I want you, I need you. Oh God, that guy.
Birds of a Feather.
No.
What did they get voted for?
No, God. So Benson Boone, there you go. So he was nominated for Best New Artist. He didn't win, but then he's the one that did like a somersault off the piano, and I thought that's what you want. That's what people should be impressed by. But he's gone and done that at the Grammys and then not won. And I feel a bit.
I'll remember not to do that next time.
Don't do that.
One of my students won a Grammy.
What?
It was a student called Adam Walder, who is a DJ called Funk Agenda, and I'll tell you what he did.
Yeah.
He had worked on this dance record, and it had gone big in the sort of dance charts. It wasn't massive, and David Guetta was producing the Black Eyed Peas album, and he emails Adam and says, can you send a track over? So he sends over an MP3, this track. They line it up in Pro Tools, although I think they were using something like Cubase or something like that, or GarageBand.
Yeah,
they line up an MP3, they put the vocal over the top. He said, this is great, thanks Adam. Adam said, do you want a WAV file? And then he goes, nah, I'll be all right. So that track that you listen to on that album that won a Grammy is that. Wow. It's an MP3 with them singing over the top, and for that he got a Grammy. And he said that when he went to it, I don't know whether I should be telling all these secrets, but I don't care anymore because he told me...
You've not signed anything?
No, there's no NDAs going on here. No, I haven't been to any Diddy parties. I'm all right.
And yet you dressed like you done someone.
I thought I look like that bloke that tries to make the dogs well behaved. You know him? I thought I put all this on this one. I thought, God, I'm going to look like that bloke. You know what I mean?
One Man and His Dog from the.
One Man and His Dog. That was the cravat's gone the wrong way round. What do you say?
See, that's why. Oh, now it makes sense.
I look like bloody David Essex with it that way round. I want to look more like that bloke. You know what his name is? That makes the dogs,
No, the only thing I can think of now is One Man and His Dog.
No, it's look him up now. But TV show BBC, TV show UK.
TV show UK.
I've got a naughty dog.
Dog trainer,
yeah. And I'll tell you what his name is.
Graham Hall.
I don't know his name. Don't be
the dog father. The dog academy.
Dog's behaving badly. In there, Graham Hall. Number one. Have a look at him.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
I mean look at that. I mean.
He looks a bit Keir Starmer now, actually, doesn't he?
I like the fact we're giving Graham Hall more attention than, say, Lady Gaga, who won a Grammy. So this is the right place.
This is the UK.
Yeah, those of you who are not British, i.e. Americans and other foreign people, This is a bit of an education for you. Go and Google. Well, I'm showing you a picture of him
Yeah,
now.
we'll
Go and Google Graham Hall, because this is a sort of gentleman that I actually do respect. Not these non-entities out in America with their rubbish music made on computers, getting up and wearing nothing and getting, awards just because they happen to be linked into some dodgy, nefarious activities. Keep your mouth shut. You could have a Grammy. I mean, bloody Beyonce hasn't her daughter had a Grammy?
What? Let's say she has, just for the sake of fake news.
She has. That Jay-Z's daughter, one of the daughters of a famous person, even they've got a Grammy.
Cool. I mean, Grammy in America means grandmother, doesn't it? So maybe that's it. She's just got a grandmother.
We've all got grandmothers, whether they're alive or not. I'm bored with this one. Should we move on to another? We should move on to some proper news now. Let's get into the weeds, because they all expected this news, but they didn't expect Black Sabbath. They will know Black Sabbath because they'll know it by now. But nobody knew it when we're talking about it. We're the first persons to talk about it.
Yeah, breaking news.
Breaking news, yeah.
Last time I did this, you were kind enough to invite me in here. You broke news that Vic Flick had just died, so you're always bang up to date.
Yeah, and then I did a video the other day, and I broke wind on it. And it was the second time I've broken wind, but this time it was deliberate. I thought it was a good English full stop to the video.
Yeah.
But actually, when I was, if you go back, everybody, you can have a check this out. Get a bit of the old algorithm working. If you go back and do my best live albums, there's a live album by Jethro Tull called Bursting Out, and as I got to that album, that's what happened to me. There's a little, I know Stevie Nicks doesn't like the word, but there was a little evacuation, a gaseous evacuation there. Go and check it out, you'll hear it. It's a lot of leather seats here, isn't it?
So
leather.
You felt compelled because of the music to reenact it?
Yeah.
Let's hope you never get a woman called Eileen on the show, because that makes things very difficult.
Well, I don't get that one.
Dixie Midnight Runners. You'd have to come on, Eileen.
There we go.
Oh, that's really you're rude, you are.
I know, I can't help it.
That's what happens when you get proper comedians on. They got proper dirty material, haven't they?
It kind of ruined it by having to explain it to you.
I'm too innocent.
Yeah, whatever.
I ain't looking at bloody. I'm not looking at Kanye West's wife's fuzzy bits.
Neither was I.
I liked it because he turned up.
They weren't fuzzy.
Just go back.
Were they not fuzzy?
They weren't fuzzy on the
Now I can picture it better.
Yeah,
this is rude. This one is.
Yeah,
It
sorry,
is,
I was
isn't
too
it?
rude.
We're getting. I really do apologise, Mum. It's these two.
Sorry.
And their bad influences on me.
I liked the Kanye West thing, just to go back, because he didn't even bother going to the Grammys. He turned up, had his photo took, made a big fuss.
Yeah,
Then he went.
And then went home.
That's
Pretty good.
I mean, that is very Kanye, isn't it? Though? That's the thing.
So.
Anyway,
That's the way you do it, isn't it, Kanye? See-through pants, if I ever get a Grammy. They should have YouTuber awards. I've said this many a time. Music YouTuber awards. Rick Beato would get them all.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get any, but when I get
makeup?
invited, I'd turn up with my see-through pants on.
Just do it.
I would
Just
do
turn
it.
up, hang around, bunk off home.
Straight in there.
Watch One Man and His Dog or whatever it
Drop
is.
my furry coat. There he is. Oh, bloody hell, look at Andy's in see-through pants.
Would your subscribers go up or down, do we think?
What? We can't. Let's
The
get out of
numbers.
this. This
Yeah,
is
we're in
a
a hole
double
here.
entendre
Oh, no,
meltdown.
no,
It's a double entendre meltdown. Can we just stop it now?
I feel it's my fault.
I could just hear my mum. I could hear my mum going, Andrew, stop showing off.
Not for the
Stop
first
showing
time,
off
I
in front of
imagine.
your friends. Right, let's get some proper music news now.
All right, get this. Janelle Monáe, after the Grammys, and she did a after party, she slammed Nelly. Do you remember him?
But Nelly the Elephant.
That's what I always think with Nelly, isn't it? You think
Yeah.
it was an insult. You called the big Nelly, not on your Nelly.
Well, talking about grandmothers, my grandmother was called Nelly.
Okay.
there you go.
And mine.
Was she?
Yeah, right, now
We discovered
Oh
this
my
last
God!
time,
Are
didn't
we
we?
discovering
We're going to have another argument.
you're related?
She
Yeah.
died of a terrible cancer, and anyway.
Yeah, look, he might have a bit of a potty mouth, this one here, but we're not doing the top 10 cancers, which we did attempt the last time you were here.
Oh,
Which I
right.
thought was really bad, because your dad died of cancer relatively young, and I thought it was there. So,
Janelle Monáe.
hello, cancer.
That's how.
That's why you're both here. I like Janelle Monáe.
I like her.
I think she's brilliant, and
Yeah.
I really do love her, that anachronoid, or whatever it's called, anachroid.
Dan Aykroyd.
She did an album. It's like an R&B album. It's like a progressive rock album
Science
at the same
fiction,
time.
yeah, absolutely.
Really great album. the last album, she's gone a bit rude.
She's gone sexual,
really,
hasn't she?
She's gone, I didn't like the fact she didn't go all rude. I thought, what are you doing this for?
Oh, wow. Anyway, get this. She slammed Nelly off. He's saying hot in here for anybody.
Yeah.
And she slammed him at the after show Grammys for performing at Donald Trump's inauguration. Now, what do you make of this? Nelly, a bit later on, he says something like, "I'm just an entertainer, and I don't know."
No, this is the argument, isn't it? Because we can avoid the discussion if you want to avoid discussions about whether anybody likes Trump or not. But I think there is this thing that's happened.
Make America great!
There we go. Knew it was coming. But there is this thing of like, if you went back, say, 10 years, 20 years. Oh God, he's doing it. Oh God.
Help!
Elon Musk.
I'm trying not to. I'm on YouTube.
We're gonna be on the news ourselves.
Yeah. I like it, the fact that I just mentioned, let's call it the joke about ejaculation. You thought it was too much, and yet you've just gone Nazi.
He's just gone full Elon.
I like the fact that
Come on, Elon. Come on, Elon. Oh, that's it. So,
anyway, the point that I will make is, if you went back, say, 20 years ago, I don't think you'd have people criticising. And I know it's because Trump is very divisive, but it's like, it is still this thing now where people are vilified because of whatever political beliefs, and you can't just be like, well, look, it's the inauguration, and a lot of people have said it's actually a really proud moment to be invited to perform at this thing, because it is one of the biggest events of the American calendar, isn't it? And this isn't me to say that I think it was a good thing for him to do it.
I'm glad
but
he's doing all the talking.
But it is interesting, I think, that is now the thing that people are doing, where they are literally, like you say, there's people are slamming people for accepting something, which a lot of Americans hold in sort of quite high regard.
For even following somebody they don't agree with. If someone follows somebody on
you're
social
following
media,
this person.
yeah. But I like when Obama was in. One of the great things about that, there was a gig broadcast from the White House nearly every week.
Oh yeah, they did the Hancock on, and all the jazz greats are there.
Absolutely.
Shaka Khan's getting up. He's bloody brilliant. That's the best thing about Obama. He put some brilliant bands together. Yeah, he really is. I think that Quincy Jones has died. He should take over really. But the thing is with Trump, right? Whether you love him or hate him. If he was a builder coming around my house, we're at the point where you're going out with a cup of tea to see what they're doing, and you would go, well, I don't really know what he's doing, but he is working. He is working. There's stuff going on, and because Biden was more like just continual cup of tea, wasn't it? I mean, I'm not American. Why should we even talk about them? The thing is that I've got.
That's a very American attitude, actually. I'm not. The Americans say that, don't they? They're not American, so why do we care?
Well, the thing is, when you're a YouTuber like me, you've got the comments in your head every time you say anything, and people will be going, Andy, you keep out of politics and stick to the music. You know nothing about American politics. And I think, well, I know nothing about Velvet Underground. I'm talking about them.
It doesn't stop you. Not knowing anything doesn't stop you.
Or anything we're talking about today, I know anything about. I'm not here for I know things.
So Nelly's agreeing with you. He's saying he's clueless on lots of things when it gets down to it. So what I tend to say is do your own homework and make your own decisions about it. That's pretty good, isn't it? Elvis, he never talked about his politics, did he? He wouldn't be drawn into it.
He'd be definitely voting Trump, though, without a doubt.
I would imagine so.
I would imagine so, yeah.
Yeah. Let's cancel him. Oh, he's dead. We can't.
He already got cancelled.
So, I suppose what I'm asking about is the idea of someone affiliating themselves with any kind of movement. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Or
if you're a creative artist, you should be able to do whatever you want to do, right? Because you're a creative artist, so we have to give our creative artists leeway. So in the old days, we'd have David Bowie walking around in like Nazi-type regalia and Lemmy wearing like iron crosses and stuff like that. And nobody thought they were Nazis because they understood a thing called nuance. Yeah. Now, I think out of these two, whether you're on Janelle Monáe's side politically or you're on obviously Nelly's side politically, the one thing that differentiates them is I don't think Nelly's having to go at anybody for supporting the Democrats.
No.
And when I criticise this, it's not from a political point of view. I fundamentally don't think anyone's got the right to have a go at somebody for having a political opinion, because we actually need loads of different political opinions, and it should be live and let live.
There needs to be discussion. This is a thing that we talk about a lot of the time. There just needs to be discussion, and actually, you're right. So imagine, as we don't know whether Janelle Monáe may have been invited to perform at it and turned it down, but we haven't heard a thing where somebody's criticised her. How could you possibly turn down the president? His inauguration. You're right. Nobody says that.
Well, I was watching Bernie Sanders, and I like Bernie Sanders. I think he's a genuine bloke, and he's one of the ones on the left I do listen to, and I've got a lot of respect for him. But he was there having a go at Kennedy for being anti-vax and asking him all these questions.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Bernie Sanders has taken $23 million from Big Pharma, right?
But
Big Pharma
for his campaigns or for
he's taking it into his pockets, right? And so these people that are in power are being funded by different people. All of them are. They're all doing their bidding, and then the celebrity class, especially in America, are the ones that go out and say, they do the bidding of the politicians from the money. So I could see there's this thing here, and Anderson .Paak went out and said, F-U-C-K Nelly, right? This is big news, but I can't help but think they just feel like they're the bottom pile. They're there. They're only there to push their narrative. This is what celebrities have now become. I don't believe they really believe it. I believe they've got a gun to their head almost, and they're either on one side or another. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I've explained that very well. That's how honestly what I feel. And what's interesting culturally for me is the fact that all this, we as the receivers of it, the great unwashed, we're all starting to go, I don't really care about this anymore.
Yeah.
Sodom.
Yeah.
It's a shame their houses have all burnt down, but Sodom. Nobody, they don't seem to have the authority in it, and it seems like they know it. Yeah. So all this seems like they're doing it all to themselves. None of us care.
It's like it's hot air just for the sake of having something to say.
Yeah.
But actually, you've not really got anything of any substance to actually say.
That's
other
exactly
than F-U-C-K Trump or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Who cares? Who cares what Anderson .Paak thinks? I got no. I think that's what everyone feels like, because the mechanism that has supported these people is breaking down.
And also, I mean, you think about it as well. It was a massive news, wasn't it, when Taylor Swift put out a statement saying that she was supporting Kamala Harris, and she is arguably one of the most influential of these celebrities you're talking about. Yet that still didn't win the election.
That's my point. This election, they threw everything at it.
They threw everything at it,
and I think it didn't work. And now they're all going, "Oh, what do we do
one
now?"
Of my favourite. This is one of my favourite quotes. Was actually from somebody, and I can't remember what it was. It was a sort of conversation on X, where somebody had said, the American people need to look at what they've done wrong here. Like the American people need to look at themselves. And it was somebody actually said, no. That is the problem. Where you're looking at it's the problem of the American people and not the problem of the Democratic Party for not doing the right thing in their campaigning. That's the thing. If they'd have, whatever it is, if the message that they'd have said in their campaigning had touched the people enough, they would have voted for them.
And
but there is this blame on, it's like blaming this person or that person because they voted for somebody rather than look at what the parties are doing. It's
and the thing is, if we bring it back to the music, if this was 20, 30 years ago, we would just be arguing about, say, Nirvana versus Soundgarden or dance music. We would be having that heated conversation. We're trying to talk about music, but our attitude to all of this is that we don't really care. But we're talking about politics because basically the world seems to be in a terrifying mess. The musicians have got nothing to say anymore. There's no Bob Dylan character coming out and going, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind.
There is. We're just too old and we don't know. And what people relate to that sort of music.
I think you've made a very good point. I think yes, it's whatever's going on in music.
I saw Beato. How do you say his name? Rick Beato. Rick
Beato.
I saw him the other day. He was going on with some fella. He was quite good actually, this fella. But then he was saying, ask people to name 2 Taylor Swift songs, they couldn't do it. I think people couldn't do it. I mean, filled out loads of stadiums, going to everyone singing along to every word. Yeah. So I thought it was a bit daft thing to say.
That's a bit. It is. It's a little bit.
I thought it was quite good.
Well, why?
Because I think I can't. It's just a generational thing, and it's like they're expressing what we all feel like. The sort of fans of proper music, people who like guitars and bass, and I can step outside it and go, I can see it all.
And shake it off. I can do it.
What?
Maybe that's because my daughters like Taylor Swift, but
Trouble. That's by White
Trouble.
Snake.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Oh, Elvis again.
yeah.
Da, 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 da.
That's it, isn't it?
Da, 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 da.
Just end the video there. That'd be. Do you want me to sing?
What I'm
Da,
saying,
da, 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 da.
if you're looking
I
for
don't
trouble,
want you.
What?
That one. Oh, you're not doing to be.
You're doing Etta James. He's doing Trouble by Elvis Presley. That's why he said
I
Trouble.
know every word.
I know.
If you're
I thought
looking
that
for
was
trouble,
funny.
you come
I
to
thought that
Elvis.
was a funny.
I bet you could do it, can't
I
you?
always thought that song. I always thought Elvis singing "My middle name is Marie," but because it sounds like it's misery, isn't it?
It's his misery.
Oh, so my middle name is Marie. Oh,
You see, the whole point is that's like nearly 70 years old, right? I think it is 70 years old, that track, next year.
58 that came out.
58 did it? You know, you're Elvis.
I love Elvis.
And we can have a conversation about that because it actually means something. What Elvis says means something even to this day now. But these types, nobody cares anymore. Nobody cares. We haven't got the proper stars anymore.
I disagree. It's just to all the loads of people, isn't there? There's loads of people.
Stop saying normal things. Look, I'm representing the grumpy old progressive rock fan base here. This is why they come and watch the channel, and I'm going to champion it. I'm on your side, really.
What do you call
bloody load of rubbish, modern music.
I thought of a joke for you last night. I thought of a joke about progressive rock. What do you call a progressive rock fan with a girlfriend?
Don't know.
Unlikely. I thought that joke took me your joke.
That's good, yeah.
Now, but the thing is with the let's call it the Trump stuff, you better like YMCA, aren't you? But like Obama, you had, as you said, Herbie Hancock doing gigs. It's basically Billy Ray Cyrus and Nelly.
The thing with Trump doing YMCA, right? The thing I've always liked about gay culture is that unlike other identity groups, when somebody has a go at the gays, they just come back with the worse. They just take it like ninja warriors. And they just go, we used to say we're camp. Okay, you want to see camp? Yeah. And so they have songs like YMCA. It's like James Brown saying, say it loud, I'm black, I'm proud. But YMCA is just going, why don't you come down the YMCA with all the boys and hang out in the show? It's just a work of genius. And what's happened is the right wing have seen this, and they've actually done the same thing as the gays used to do. And they're now every time if Trump danced to YMCA, all the liberal left they go, well, I don't understand this because that's one of our songs. What's Trump doing? And I noticed on a few days ago when they had the big march in London, to free Tommy Robinson. I've said his name. And I have no opinion about him. I'm not saying anything about him, so don't say
Great point on the internet to say that. Yeah, go on.
But they were walking up and down singing it as well. They noticed it. And they were all singing YMCA. I think it's bloody brilliant. All these far-right Nazis going,
it's certainly weird, isn't it, that
just
song...
with one arm up there.
Yes.
They're doing that, they're like the I. Okay.
Fun to work in the I've done it again.
Oh God!
Are you allowed to
Somebody
do Nazi?
else.
Are you allowed to do Nazi salutes on YouTube?
Depends what you'll find out, won't you?
I know.
This is going to end up on somebody else's music news now, isn't it? This video talking about like, oh, look at this YouTuber started doing right wing.
It's a Doctor Strange love tribute, let's say.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place, aren't I? Because if I just came on like all the other...
We are. Am I the rock?
I'm certainly not the hard place, so there's another bit of rudeness for you.
No, I think you probably are the hard place the way you've acted in this video, young man.
Yes.
You've been very fruity.
You think?
Yeah.
I've done loads of work though to news stories.
You have to make it up with work. You can be a hard worker and still a pervy.
Research here.
You said do some news. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Should we move on?
I didn't say come on and act like it's a carry-on film and fill it with all double entendres.
No, it's an illness. I can't help it.
Yeah.
Whenever I see a double entendre, I always like to whip it out. All that. I got that from Phil Allen doing later. That's what he used to say.
Did he used to say that? Did he?
That was a bit.
I like when you do the punchline, then you go and write down as though
you had nothing to do with it,
and then I like that's a good comedy method. That is.
But at the time,
yeah, it's like you say it and then you're out of there. Right, you could really just
making
a bit of notes. Like Jordan Peterson when he's doing an interview, he does that. Have you noticed?
No, God, what does he do?
He will go like, the great dialectic of circumstance in the young environment, and then that means that you've got to work hard and be, and he does all that, and then he gives and then after about 10 minutes he asks the question, and as soon as he asks the question he gets his notepad and writes it down to keep track of what he's going on about, I think. God, there's a lot of right-wing talking points on this one, isn't there?
We need to, keep it light.
All right, then get this one. Should we do another one?
Yeah, go on then.
Is it all right doing some driving? Do you want to do one, Rob? Have you got new stories?
Well, the one story I saw, which was the one that you started taking the mick out before, I've got to find it now because it was on
about the doggy bloke.
Plant-based news. So I just went, music news. I'll just Google music news, right? And look at this, plant-based news. This is back on the Grammys. Because this headline, I love it. It says, metal band with vegan singer takes home first Grammy win. And I just think that's brilliant. Just because it's so random. So
is it that type of plant-based?
They have made the news on this plant-based news, which I've never heard of.
Is it all about Robert Plant then?
And that would be brilliant, wouldn't it?
I use this for my music news. I'm going to it every day thinking, well and good. But put some Robert Plant news on here because there's none.
It's Gojira. It's fronted by a vegan and animal advocate, Joe Duplantier.
Duplantier, that's brilliant name for someone who's into vegan stuff, because it's like he's doing planting.
It's brilliant. Anyway, but
Robert Plant could be on here, but he's not a vegan, couldn't he?
I guess so. If his nominative determinism is a plant, isn't he? So he should be well into it.
I think so. Life would be simpler.
I saw some Robert Plant news the other day, if you want it.
Go on then.
He said, there's a new Led Zeppelin film.
Yeah,
and
it's called Becoming Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, and then the headline said, see why Robert Plant was devastated when Led Zeppelin formed. So I thought, I'm going to look at that. And when I scrolled further down, it said, Robert Plant said he was devastated when Led Zeppelin first got together and he heard the noise and it was what he wanted. He said it left him devastated. Now, I thought it was a bit of a weird use of that word because devastated usually means rubbish, isn't it? And you feel sad. So I like this notion that something that he'd always wanted, as you two once said, you can't find what you're looking for. So maybe when he finally got what he wanted, he didn't have that quest, as it were. Well, to make of that?
Well, to be
that exit Robert Plant news.
To be controversial as I always have to be. If the eagle-eyed of you go back to my interview with Don Powell, the drummer of Slade, he said that after Robert Plant had joined Led Zeppelin, that he bumped into Robert, and Robert said that they were rubbish, but he thought he'd stick in it because they might do a tour of America. That's the truth, and I bet they don't say that in Becoming Led Zeppelin.
Well, maybe
Robert doesn't watch this one.
Unless that's the reason he was devastated. Because he thought before it, this sounds like this is going to be great, and then he heard them, and he was maybe that's why he was devastated. We'll have to watch the thing. I mean, we should. Really.
I'm really looking forward to this film.
We should watch the thing before commenting on it. Yeah, it does look quite.
I really want. It's going to be amazing, and they've got like John Bonham interviews and extra footage and all sorts of things, and I think it'll be so exciting. It really will.
There's a quote here that said that apparently Jimmy Page said, "I wondered if he brought sandwiches." That was the only agreed to take part. Apparently, Jimmy Page only agreed to take part in the movie after a 7-hour meeting and an unexpected trip to a boathouse.
What are you talking about?
It doesn't make any sense.
No, I read that story. What it was Jimmy Page took whoever directed it to the boathouse because he wanted to see if the director knew the let's call it the significance of the boathouse. So he passed
to see if he, I see, yeah.
Something like that. Anyway, so it's good to know that even when you're a multi-millionaire rock star, you can still play mind games with people and sort of think, how much do you really love me?
What is the significance of the boathouse?
They used to rehearse there. It was the first rehearsal or something, I read.
I thought you were the Zeppelin encyclopedia. I knew that. I'd heard of the boathouse. Unless I'd gleaned it from reading this, but yeah.
There's a lot of music news. I'm looking at it now. It's all over the bloody place. We've merely scratched the surface, really.
Yeah, well, let's do since we had the vegan Grammy winner. What do you make
Can
of
we make this the last one now?
Yeah, all right.
I'm fed up with it.
A little
bit now, yeah.
Why is that then?
Well, because because you're here, I'm talking with less control, and so I've got a slight worry I might have said something like I've been Nazi saluting, saying rude things with Mum will watch. I'm going to get in trouble on this one.
Yeah, all right.
You know. So that's worrying me. I think
what
am I doing this for?
Most people would just do a nice little. I'll just cut that out.
I ain't
But
editing
you don't know
anything.
how to. You don't know how to edit.
I'm brilliant at bloody editing.
Okay, whatever.
I'm really good at editing now. What did it used to be? But I'm an expert at doing the editing. You're nasty, you are.
Andy, once again, going for the little bit of conflict towards the end of the video.
Oh,
Like
don't
it's-
stop! You're
I know what you're
like
doing.
Bertolt Brecht now.
I know what you're doing.
I take no more news. What are you even looking at now?
Pump and knuckleheads take over McDonald's and play Fuck McDonald's as Ronald McDonald. Crowd surfs to this band.
Yeah, I did read this one as well.
that is
Make
quite
of
cool.
it. I don't like them because everybody I know who says fuck McDonald's, don't like McDonald's, are middle class essentially. They go, we can't go to McDonald's, they don't possibly like McDonald's. Open late, you can eat hot food late at night. If you want to have a wee somewhere, always useful.
See, yeah.
I'm
No,
backing up
this is
McDonald's.
it because and
He's got a method as well with McDonald's. Because he's so technical, he's got all this stuff on his phone. So he's driving along, we're coming back for a gig, and Rob will go, "Do you fancy a McDonald's?" And then I'll go, "Yes." And then he just shouts, "I want a Big Mac and fries." He just shouts it into the air, and then his little phone goes, "Yeah, we'll do that. Sort that out for you, Mr. Master Roberts."
It does
And
not
then he
do
just
that
drives.
at all.
He drives into the car park, and these little midgets come out with the McDonald's special Rob midgets. Goes, "There you are." Oh, she's not supposed to say. I've done it again.
You said it.
Oh,
You're gonna get
dwarves,
cancelled.
little
We're all gonna
dwarves,
get
little
cancelled.
dwarves.
Anyway,
I can't help but say these
but
words.
this
Why are you worried
going.
about, why are you worried about this one as opposed to the 100
All
ones?
of the other- yeah,
What-
this is
what
the
is
one
it?
that's
What
gonna-
is this one?
I don't know. I just feel I feel exposed at the moment.
I wonder why.
Like Kanye West's wife. I feel like that. I feel something bad's going to happen. I don't know if it's the
wonder
new
why.
year. The new year's coming, and I'm thinking it's all going well with the YouTube. But the thing is, if I got cancelled for doing knots, they're going to say, "Look, this bloke's done everything. We don't even know where to choose. We don't know." He used the M word for small people. I mean, that's really bad, isn't it?
Pretty bad.
I just said
You
it.
can bleep it.
Yeah.
I think the thing is there's that word and obviously the N word.
Yeah.
Even if you bleep it out, it doesn't matter. It's just the fact you said
People
it.
know you've said it.
It's like I mean, I get so frustrated that I find I have to go into a little small room in my house. I just shout it, hoping no one's walking past, just so I can get it out of my system, so I don't accidentally say it in public.
Yeah. This is old news. Did you ever see that clip when Kendrick Lamar invited
Have you got some Only Fools and Horses news here?
Only Fools and Horses?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
There, look, Uncle Albert.
It's not.
That's Rob Halford.
Oh, sorry. I'm not so good at distance. That's far away.
Rob
Oh
Halford.
yes,
I mean,
sorry.
it does look like
sorry.
a Albert.
Sorry, I just got excited then because I mean, if we were here doing some, English sitcom news. I mean, Brian Murphy died yesterday, who played George and Mildred. Why would be having a much better time, to be honest? But here we got to talk about all these rubbish music. I don't mind talking about music,
but there isn't anything.
you're
that
about to talk about Kendrick Lamar now.
You just said.
Let's
You
bin
like
Kendrick
Kendrick-
Lamar.
you-
Bin him.
George and
You
Mildred.
like Kendrick Lamar.
I do
Lamar,
like him, but I don't like him, and I don't want to talk about him. I'd rather talk about
So
Man
this
About
is-
the House versus George and Mildred, because I actually think George and Mildred was better than Man About the House. Obviously,
I like
It-
the
You
way
are
this
the
is
one that
going.
dictated this should be music news, but actually maybe it should just be entertainment news. So you can.
Shall
you
we
can
do that
talk,
next
You
time?
can talk about George and
We're not
Mildred.
doing-
Look, you lot, you're the
Will you get everybody
you're
to
the audience
answer
in the
this?
end. In the comments, say whether you just want general entertainment news with a bit of music. So
they can get that. Do you know, I listened to Annie Mac and Nick Grimshaw's podcast the other day because they do music news. I thought, wonder what that's
Is
like.
it as good as this?
Well, I'm not so sure, mate.
Oh, I bet it's better than this.
They
Isn't
spent
it?
10 minutes talking about what they had for breakfast, so don't do entertainment news, Andy. That's not your wheelhouse. Do music news. Or do what you like. As Beyonce says, don't stick to a lane.
You know when
Do
you
what
were on.
like.
You know the first time you were on.
Yeah.
You were a lot less aggressive. You were quite sycophantic.
Oh, well, that's the first time I'd met you, wasn't it?
You were in awe of coming to my lair.
Well, let's be honest.
But this time you've been.
And then you turned the camera on me unexpectedly, and I had to join in. And then all of a sudden, I've never been on the internet, Rob. I try and avoid.
He is
that.
on the internet.
Yeah,
I found him in
avoid the internet.
1999 or something.
Yeah, you said that,
I've
yeah.
seen it.
I need to
Andy
find it,
Robertson.
yeah.
What was the show you were on? I've forgotten.
What, the stand-up show I did
Yeah.
on the... Was it Gas?
What?
That's what it's called, the TV show Gas. I think there's a clip.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter. It doesn't
Google him
matter.
on Gas.
Don't Google me
Google him on Gas. He's
Don't
really
Google
good.
me.
He's
Do
funny.
it
He's like a proper comedian. He's got proper,
Like a
proper
proper
jokes and
comedian.
everything.
I've got some jokes
Not
for
like
you.
today.
He's been
I knew this
Not
was
like
writing his
that
punchlines down.
that
you know
terrible
what I mean?
progressive rock thing he came out with.
I've got some jokes for you.
Go on then.
And you're like, I love this. How many Andy Edwards does it take to change a light bulb? Well, he's changed quite a few for Robert Plant. I love that one.
Oh, he is good.
Why-
He is good.
why did
I
Frank-
take it all back.
I love this. Like, you're like, why did Frank Zappa, Eric Burden, and the Animals cross the road?
Don't know.
To get to the other side of this life. That's not a joke about a single Frank Zappa producer. I love that. This girl. Why is John McLaughlin never satisfied with a Palatian? Because he wants an extra Palatian. I love that as well. What would Captain Birdseye be called if he played bass in a jazz band? Fish Mingus. I love that. You're like, why is Django Reinhardt like a mini Kit Kat? Something about 2 fingers. I couldn't remember. I love that.
That's gotta be.
What do you get if you cook a jazz composer in pastry?
What? I was improving your Kit Kat joke, sorry. I thought you should have gone for finger of fudge.
Just enough. Give the kids a treat. What do you get if you cook a jazz composer in pastry?
Don't
The
know.
Duke Wellington. I love that, you're a lot. I love it.
They will.
Can't do
Yeah,
jokes.
yeah.
Oh, this is brilliant. I feel dizzy now. I'm going to take my hat off.
You're laughing
I
too
feel
much.
dizzy. You've earned your money today. This is way better than last
I was
time.
waiting for the moment.
Did you
when
see that
said,
one
"I'm looking
comment
for
about
some-"
you? I didn't want to mention it, but
Right.
now you've redeemed yourself. Someone said, "Who's this bloke?" Said it's a comedian, and someone said, "Are you sure?"
Yeah. I mean, it's just the
They
obvious
said I
thing
was the
to
better
say.
comedian on the last one.
I know.
I was
I
funnier.
did see it, and then I saw you go, yes, I am a proper comedian.
I would love to be a proper comedian now. I'm fed up with drumming.
Yeah.
I want to be a comedian, but
Go and do 5 minutes somewhere, come and do a gig.
Yeah.
Hey, every Thursday there's a gig at the Glee Club, Birmingham.
Do you do it?
Yeah, I do actually.
Do you go up and perform?
What?
You perform
Like
on
an
it?
open mic, like
I
an open mic.
host it.
Could me and Rob come to that?
Yeah, of course.
Can we do a YouTube video?
See,
from
we
this?
did. We did do this, didn't we? And you've got
I
the
played
footage
at
of
the
that.
Glee Club. I did a drum
No,
play.
no,
there.
it's in not the Glee Club. It's in the talking, the spoken.
Yeah, I did
what
one
do
the
we
other
call it?
day. You saw it, didn't
Yeah.
you, on the
Go
Patreon?
and
When
do
you were a
some-
patron, then decided you didn't want to pay the money anymore.
then-
After you met me in person, you went, oh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. There was a touch of that.
You got your way in, though, hadn't you? You got your legs.
Look,
on the
Andy
table.
Edwards, I'm a big fan of yours. I think you're on great.
Who the hell's
You do
that?
good stuff. That's Bonnie Tyler saying Brexit is a pain in the neck.
Bloody
Get this
hell.
one. So Bonnie Tyler's moaning about pain in the
She's
neck.
a pain in my eyes.
Read this last sentence. So I was thinking, that's a shame, Bonnie. Read that last sentence. Reports suggest that Bonnie and her husband, Robert Sullivan, own 22 homes worldwide. So I didn't really care.
Yeah. Oh,
Hey,
that's a
listen,
pain, isn't it?
22. I know. Ed Paul's John Paul's brother. John Paul's the bass player with Cardiacs.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 He plays with Bonnie Tyler.
I got loads of stories. Paul McCartney warns British government of the risk of AI ripping off artists.
I've done loads of hours.
Hang
He
on.
goes on about someone might be writing a song and someone else might nick it. Hello, John Lennon.
Yeah, I'm like, come on.
I love Paul McCartney. No. But if we talk about coming up the Glee Club, get this. What's about what rank of this story? That Madonna performed surprise stand.
This is now you come. We'll finish
This
with
is
this one
news, yes.
because I read about this and people said she was funny. Have you seen the actual?
No, no, I've
no
not
one's
seen
seen
the
it,
clip.
have they?
No,
So
no,
we're
New
this.
material.
But that tagline is brilliant. It says she's funny, she's got jokes. I mean,
That's-
those are the two prerequisites for going and doing a comedy gig, aren't they?
Are they?
Not always, as you've the scene. Yeah, I like it though. The idea of so I think anyone can do stand up or have a go at least. And I like Madonna because she's not going to be talking about it's like when you're at the self-service checkout and the things don't scan. She'll be doing material about like being pulled down the stairs at the Brits by an inadequate
Oh,
backing
God.
dancer and like
Yeah.
that's good stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I hope she's good because I think she's let herself
I
down
mean,
recently.
I have worried though
Because
because
with all that licking the bloody milk out of the
because
dish.
that quote though is from her comedian friend Amy Schumer,
Amy Schumer.
and I'm not a big.
But they're going to
I'm not a
support
fan of
her.
Amy
But,
Schumer.
but I think they would be saying something different if she wasn't good. They would be going, "Oh, she was great," and we thought, but they're not. They're actually sort of going, "Oh, I'm actually quite
Specifically,
surprised
yeah.
that she was good." I hope she does. I think, with the state of the music industry, and Spotify, all that, I think they all need to go.
We said this when we
James Blunt, he'd be a much better comedian than a musician, wouldn't he?
when
Yeah,
we
yeah.
did that sort of live version of your YouTube where we did at that gig, we were talking about that on the way back, going actually this would be a really interesting thing to do because it is funny. And we came and go, you actually got some laughs. It was
Well,
like
tell you
oh,
what,
it was
with
good.
I enjoyed getting the laughs.
It was good, yeah.
But you
Yeah,
don't.
always a
But the thing
thrill.
is, you don't get the laughs for what you expect to get the laughs for, do it?
Ah.
The laugh I got was when I talked about doing a poo in Robert Plant's house, and then I said, and that's why I'm up here and you're down there, and that was when I got the first laugh.
But
wasn't
this
it?
is the same thing. Is that true? Exactly the true thing in comedy then, where it's like the jokes that you think are going to be like a little fill-in jokes are the ones that people really
that can
find.
certainly happen,
Yeah.
like the stuff he thinks really good, as we've probably just seen
A
over
little
the last
picture
hour or
of
so.
yes, yeah.
And then-
But all of this video, yeah.
But yeah, it can happen.
Because
So
we,
that's-
because I
that's-
said
But,
it was
but
music-
nobody's coming here for a laugh.
But that's true. of
Oh
some.
yeah.
No.
I mean,
Not this week.
if we're
No,
making you
not
laugh,
today.
see the thing. My idea of my channel is that you've got middle-aged men, and they get home and they've had a busy day at work or whatever, and then they put me on, and I'm just in the background talking, and I think I fill up the evil void of their
Sorry.
depressing midlife crisis. Basically, I just churn on in the background, and if there's a few laughs, that's it.
Yeah.
I think we're done now. I don't want to do any more. It's gone on for way too long. I've got to edit it all. So I think we're going to draw it to a close here.
Yeah.
But what I do want to finish with, because I can't be arsed doing the extra things, is that we shot this on one camera. I'm going to show you inside the machinations of my videos. We used to do this with two cameras, then Rob would edit it, and the other camera is just a camera at distance, and then I could cut to that, and then that's what we do. So what we're going to do is we're going to do these shots now, but they don't actually match.
Okay.
So I'm going to move the camera to distance now. Then I'll come back, and then you've got to pretend to talk for about a minute. Then you pretend to talk for a minute, and then I'll pretend to talk. That'll be the final end of the video, and then they'll
Brilliant,
go
isn't
because then they'll go. Oh, I remember seeing this bit earlier on. Oh my God, the machinations it's got. It's quite philosophical. This because it's ended with the stuff that was at the beginning and in full circle. And Andy knows what he's doing a little bit more than I thought. He's cleverer than what I thought. You up for doing this now? Okay, so do you understand what we're about to do? I'm going to move the camera and film the cutaways. That's the professional name for them. The cutaways.
I mean,
Don't change anything.
Good band name.
we could have just filmed this with 3 cameras.
Don't change. Don't take your glasses off or anything.
So we just talk about anything.
Don't take your glasses off. Don't move that cup.
You're telling us that, is this code?
Don't move it, because the thing is, when I cut it, it's not going to make sense, is it? I just want a shot like that I can cut into.
Switch places.
I just want a shot like that. That's all I want.
So,
And then so don't, Rob. What you do with your hands? Keep them steady if you can. Keep them steady.
I didn't keep them steady.
Don't even think of putting your glasses off. Right. So we're coming on.
I was going to say we should switch computers, but they're both
Don't
the same
move
computer.
anything. It's
Oh,
going to mess up the continuity.
people are not going to
It's
even
going to
notice
mess up the
what's happened
continuity.
there.
Oh, he's in a vest. It's like,
So, can you just pretend that you're talking, and we'll just act like you're talking. So so what happens is when you're talking,
Yeah.
I could cut to a long shot, and you'll be going, and because it's distance, they'll think, oh, that's him talking, and we're responding. You ready?
And I'm pretending while I'm talking.
Yeah,
right?
you just go like that.
I mean, can't I even say anything?
Say what you want,
Silence.
You're like a method actor,
But
aren't
you
you?
edit, you
Yeah,
gonna edit.
I am.
But
I'm
have
feeling it.
we technically finished the video, or is this all still going to be on your video?
I don't know yet.
Oh my god.
Depends what's said, isn't it?
I think
the
I
end-
got-
the
I
end
gotta
of
be
an
honest.
video, anything could happen.
Anything
This is
could
the
happen.
best bit, I think. Isn't it?
What, you stripped to the waist?
I was going to take the vest off, but I thought, nah, not after Kanye West one.
Step too far.
You know, I mean, it's like.
You haven't got like a see-through bodysuit to
No.
It's really affected you this Kanye West story. Look what you've ended up
He's
doing.
good looking.
Can you do your bits? I can cut
We're
in.
doing it now, aren't we? I mean, you know what then?
All right, now your turn, Rob. Now you talk.
Is it? No, I'm gonna. Yeah. So, I mean, I can just pretend I'm doing something on here, and I could type and say,
I mean,
This
you
was
know,
the real
plant-
anal retentive end of
plant-based
the
news.
autism.
It's
He has really got to do
a
it.
secret. Yes, I'm gonna.
And this is hurting him, the fact that it's not going to be in sync.
It's really gonna.
Andy, can't you write out what we did? I don't mind it. I'll learn it and say it again.
I can already feel the
don't like it, do you?
OCD itch happening already.
Yeah.
It's like,
And
oh my God.
your cups in view, they all know you've gone to Greg's.
Oh, I know, yeah, that's on there.
I mean,
yeah, everything, yeah.
You texted me and said you wanted this to be a bit like the Andrew Marr show. I'm going to say epic fail.
This isn't like the Andrew Marr show.
One of us needs to have a stroke or an affair.
What?
That's Andrew Marr, isn't it? That's what was 2 things I know about him.
When I did have an affair, it was just a stroke.
Oh,
In the end.
and he's the one that's rude and naughty. Oh, I know you can't eat those because then that's not going to be continuity, it's going to be empty.
Well, I thought I was doing that thing on the internet. I thought it was really good. And I thought it was a good dog and his wife and then walked out. I thought it was really, really good. Yeah, really good.
Are you putting subtitles on this bit?
Really good it was. Stop talking,
God.
fighting.
Oh my god.
This is it. This is what I've ended up doing in my life, this is.
It's not a bad thing though. It's
I mean-
you know, come on, you know.
Sitting with my mouth crammed full of custard creams.
Yeah.
I can't hear anything, it's too far away.
It's better than what we used to do.
Sat in subarctic conditions because there's no heating in a vest.
Yeah. Good old life, eh? You never know where you're going to end up.
No.
Better than doing a gig in front of 30 people and drumming in 17/8 time or whatever you do.
Oh, it's better than that.
What about 40 people?
We're done.
Is that the...
Shall we all wave bye-bye? You wave bye-bye, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this one. A bit silly. But if you like this sort of thing, we are going to do it again because I've enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have.
I thought you hadn't. I was worried, Andy. I thought.
No, I
thought
thought
these little petulant
You
things.
can
at the
never
end.
tell. Can you can't tell whether it's the real Andy.
I thought this petulant strap might be real, and you didn't like
Stop
it.
being so antagonistic. I didn't know you were like this. I thought you were a singer fan, that's why I rang you up. I
You know-
thought, he'll come round, kiss my bottom for an hour, that'll make me feel better. I can go home.
So
But
if
you are just questioning everything.
It's safety in numbers, you see. He knows that I'd back it
I was
up.
having to pull the antagonism out.
last
I had
time I was
I
on-
had to go for the death of his father.
You
That was
did.
the only way I could do
You
it.
did
This
that,
time he's just like out of control.
Why have I been
I'm freezing.
Why have I been out of control?
You do it again. Everything I say, you just answer it with why da da da. If I was going to put my shirt on, you go, why are you putting your shirt on? Because I'm bloody cold.
Subscribe to Andy Edwards. He's great. Follow him on Patreon. I'm doing a bit of heavy lifting there, so you don't have to do it. Follow him on
Thanks for
Patreon.
that.
He's got a tip jar.
If you enjoyed today's tantrum,
I've got an actual jar as well with custard creams in. Look at it.
Fill it.
Then I'm for
Well, it's